Hello everyone, welcome to General Hospital Daily Channel. Please hit the subscribe button and give this episode a thumbs up. Nina's public outburst, and the trap that is closing around her. Oh darlings, there are moments in Port Charles when a character makes a choice that feels completely understandable in the heat of the moment and absolutely catastrophic in the cold light of what comes after. Nina threatening Jack in public, loudly, furiously, in front of a room full of witnesses who each have their own complicated relationship with both of them, is that kind of moment. And the show made absolutely sure we understood exactly who was watching. Let us set the scene one more time, because the details matter enormously for what is coming. Nina made a beeline for Jack after hearing Willow's recording. She was trying to protect her daughter. She was trying to protect Jack from what Willow was about to do to him. And in the particular way that Nina operates when she is frightened for the people she loves, her attempt at protection came out as something that sounded, to everyone in that room, like a threat. Jack told her flat out, Willow will eventually destroy her. He said it without cruelty, but he said it clearly. He told Nina that her daughter would not shed real tears for her when the destruction came. That is the kind of thing that lands like a physical blow when you have spent years reconstructing your entire emotional identity around being the mother your child needed. And Nina's response to that blow was the response of a woman in pain, loud, emotional, public, and deeply unwise. The people who witnessed it. Let us name them because they all matter individually. Jordan, who is a law enforcement professional and who now has first-hand knowledge of a specific threat being made. Drew, who was watching with the particular calculating expression of a man who immediately understood how this could be useful to him. Tristan, who has WSB connections and his own complicated read on everything happening around Jack. Isaiah, who has his own interests in this situation. Carly, who was genuinely intrigued, which is a specific word choice that suggests she was filing it away rather than simply reacting to it. Multiple witnesses. All of them capable of providing testimony. All of them connected to situations where that testimony might matter. And now the false spoilers are sitting there telling us Jack does not survive it. Which means Nina is going to have to navigate what happens after Jack is found, whatever form that takes, while the list of people who heard her threaten him in public is sitting in the police report. While Willow has a recording that could be used to implicate Jack in various things. While Drew, who is watching with calculation rather than shock, may be planning something that uses Nina's outburst as a frame. The possibility that Nina will be wrongly accused is not small. It is actually quite large. Because a story where Nina is guilty would be simpler and less interesting than a story where the actual killer frames the person with the most obvious public motive. Drew looking at Nina's outburst and seeing an opportunity to solve two problems at once, remove Jack and implicate Nina, is exactly the kind of move that fits who Drew has become this summer. Nina may not be guilty of anything except loving her daughter too much and too publicly. But that may be enough to land her in a cell while the person who actually did it watches from a comfortable distance. Alexis knew all along, and why she is finally speaking now. Now, darlings, this revelation about Alexis is one of the most significant character developments this entire storyline has produced, because it completely reframes every interaction Alexis has had since the trial. She knew. She sat with it. She chose silence. And understanding why she finally broke that silence tells us everything about who Alexis Davis is at her core. Let us be specific about what she knew and when. Alexis has known since the trial that Willow shot Drew. That is not recent knowledge. That is not information she stumbled onto this week when Kai came to her with fresh concerns. She confirmed it through phone records when Kai and Trina first brought her the ringtone information. She looked at the evidence, she understood what it meant, and she made a decision to stay on the sidelines. That decision was not cowardice. Alexis is many things, but she is not a coward. It was a calculation. Drew is not a helpless person. He is a man with resources and history and his own complicated moral ledger. The situation between Drew and Willow was their situation. Painful, criminal, deeply unfair, but contained in a specific way that did not require Alexis to step into the middle of it. She could tell herself that it was not her fight. That staying quiet was a version of neutral. Kai changed that calculation. Kai came to her not with information about Drew, but with information about himself and Trina. Willow had threatened him over the affidavits. She had suggested the police could be turned against him. She was extending her protective instinct outward from the original crime and the cover-up, and was now wrapping innocent young people into her dangerous radius. That is the line. That is the specific thing that Alexis cannot excuse or set aside. Kai and Trina did not do anything wrong. They saw something, they told the truth about it in a legal document, and now Willow is pointing at them as potential targets. Two young people whose only crime was choosing honesty over self-protection. Alexis moved from observer to protector the moment she understood that. She warned Kai not to sign anything further. She promised Willow would face perjury charges if she tried to frame him or Trina. And then she walked into Willow's office and dropped the bomb that has been sitting inside her all these months. I have known since the trial that you shot Drew. The weight of that sentence. For Willow hearing it, the realization that Alexis has been carrying this and choosing silence means that silence is now over. The calculus has changed. The people who know are not just keeping to themselves anymore. They are mobilizing. For the audience watching, it means every conversation Alexis has had with Willow since the trial carries the weight of everything she was not saying. Every moment of warmth or concern or advice, all of it filtered through knowledge Alexis was choosing to sit on. That retrospective complexity is genuinely fascinating storytelling. The reckoning Willow cannot outrun, and what it means for Port Charles. And now, darlings, let us close by looking at the full picture of where these two stories are taking the city, because Nina publicly threatening Jack and Alexis confronting Willow with what she has always known are not separate events. They are pressure arriving from two different directions on a situation that cannot hold. Willow has been managing. That is the word for what she has been doing all summer. Managing information. Managing threats. Managing Drew's recovery. Managing the custody situation. Managing her mother's feelings and Jack's involvement, and the growing list of people who know things she cannot afford to have known. Every morning she woke up, and the list of things requiring management had grown overnight. And now two of the most significant containment structures she was relying on are cracking simultaneously. Alexis has declared that she knows. That means the silence that Alexis was choosing to maintain is no longer being chosen. And everything Alexis knows, everything that can be corroborated by phone records and witness testimony and legal documents, is now pointed directly at Willow as a threat rather than simply sitting in Alexis's knowledge as a secret she was keeping. Nina's public outburst has made her a target in a different way. Not for what she knows, but for what she is being set up to appear responsible for. Jack is going to die. And the person best positioned to benefit from Nina taking the blame is the person who has been watching every move everyone around him makes and calculating how to use it. Drew, standing in that room with that expression, seeing Nina create the perfect frame for herself. That is the setup for something that unfolds very deliberately over the weeks ahead. Willow is going to face Sidwell's trial.
Drew is going to testify.
The paralytic, the cover-up, all of it is going to come out in a courtroom setting that she cannot control and cannot manipulate from the outside. And now she also has Alexis actively opposing her rather than passively aware of her. And possibly Nina being pulled away from her side by grief and accusation, and the eventual understanding that Jack's warning about Willow destroying her was not hyperbole. The reckoning that has been building all summer is not one dramatic moment. It is a series of walls falling simultaneously, each one revealing what the next one was hiding. And Willow, who has been so skilled at preventing any single wall from falling, is about to discover that when they all go at once there is nowhere to run. Port Charles is heading towards something extraordinary this fall, darlings. Nina potentially in handcuffs for something she did not do. Alexis in open opposition to a woman she protected with silence for too long. And somewhere in the middle of all of it, the truth that everyone has been managing is going to surface in a courtroom that does not care how carefully anyone kept it hidden. Thank you for watching. For daily update, don't forget to subscribe the channel and hit the bell icon.